Hello to everybody in the Fathers, Sons, Brothers tribe. I'm shooting this video to give you an update on exactly what's happening inside the tribe and to share some of the behind the scenes stuff and what it is that we're excited about and we'll be working on in the coming weeks and months. This video is something that I'm probably going to create weekly, and it's going to be called the Bulletin. And the point of the Bulletin is to keep you up to date with what's happening inside the community and a space for you to be able to share with us anything that you feel would be supportive as we move and grow the tribe and unite a tribe of open-hearted men around the globe. It feels like a really important mission for us to be doing this work. Both myself and Matt and the team of people that are behind this creation at Fathers, Sons, Brothers have recognized the importance of healing masculinity as a way to be able to heal the world. And I know I have personal experience with the times that I didn't love myself, the times that I doubted myself, the times that I've even felt hatred almost towards myself are the times when I made poor decisions, and this inner hatred or this inner lack of peace was reflected in my outside world. It was reflected in my business. It was reflected in my intimate relationships. It was reflected in how I moved in the world. And showing up for myself first and integrating and healing and loving and accepting every single part of myself is the piece that's really served me. And I now see this more integrated, more loving version of me reflected back in the relationships that I have in the world and the business that I'm building and in the tribe that we're creating. And so when we look at our organization and see what it is that we want to really show up for and what it is that we do best, it's clear to us that the bi-weekly circle, the King's Circle, is by far the most powerful experience that we have. It's completely free. It's a secure and safe space for men to be able to come together and to be able to share what's on their heart. The original definition of courage, and the podcast that we host called The Call to Courage, the original definition of courage means to speak from the heart. And that's what we aim to do with the King's Circle, to recognize that we don't need to pretend to be anybody else. We don't need to avoid any specific subjects. We need to speak authentically what's true for us and to create a space for you to be able to be received by the circle, sharing what's authentically true for you. And when we do this and we start to speak from the heart and develop this real place of authenticity, we start to develop the courage that's going to help us show up more fully in our lives, in our relationships, in our businesses, in our communities, etc. So we are super jazzed to be leveling up the King's Circle. And as a way to do that, we have switched it from a bi-weekly men's circle. It was every second Thursday. It's now going to be every Thursday. We're going to be experimenting with different times and recognizing where, let me put this on. We're moving to a more cohesive opportunity for people to show up. At the moment, we've got a 10 a.m. Mountain time on Thursdays. That doesn't always suit everybody. For those that are in Asia or in Australia, it's not always easy to make those circles, but we're going to get your feedback as to what time and day of the week suits you. And then we're going to stagger when we have these circles so that it's easy for you to be able to show up and make the King's Circle. I wrote a post on social media yesterday that was, men's work at the moment is like meditation and yoga was 10 or 15 years ago. It was sort of there. People were thinking about it. Now, if you don't have a meditation practice, for me, it's akin to not having a shower in the morning. Like, my ability to be able to perform in the day with or without meditation is significantly different. And I show up differently for my work, for my relationships, and for me, very differently if I've taken the time to meditate. As I've dived deeper into men's work, I've also recognized that the weeks that I'm in circle, the places where I'm held to account or where I go to ask questions of the men's circles that I'm a part of, if I'm not doing that at the moment, it feels like I'm not doing my own cleanup work because I grow from every single circle. And so it feels really, really important to us that we take this work out into the world and that we're at the forefront of a new wave, a new opportunity to really be in this place of showing up for ourselves and creating safe spaces for men to be able to start to heal, and to be able to be seen, heard, and accepted so that we can show up as the way that we want to show up. So in the last year, since we have been doing men's circles, we have basically had around 80 men in circle. And we're super jazzed about that and are so grateful for those of you that have been showing up to our circles, those that are coming regularly. And for those of you that have been inviting others, thank you so much. Our goal at the moment is to get 10,000 men inside a circle. We want our circle to be able to grow. We're wanting to empower members of the tribe to be able to participate and help us hold circles, not only in the weekly King's Circle, but also in your own communities. And that's definitely something that we're going to be working on in the coming weeks. So at the moment, we are 80 men into our goal of 10,000 men inside a men's circle. And we're really looking forward to seeing you inside some of these circles coming soon. And with that, I want to share the theme for this week's circle. This bulletin is for the week starting Monday, the 13th of March, 2023. And the theme that we have in our circle this week, which is going to be on, I think it is the 16th, is called Honouring Fatherhood. It's an exploration into recognizing that all of us have a relationship with a father. Present, not present, in this domain, passed on, never knew, very close to. Every single one of us has an experience with a father, as well as our own journey about being a father or choosing not to become a father. And we want to bring some reverence to this topic in our circle this Thursday. It's also lining up that Father's Day is going to be at, I think, next weekend, somewhere around this 18th or 19th. And it seems fitting that we're honoring fatherhood in this week's circle. So if you've been to a circle before, please join us. If you have a relationship with your dad or you want to honor the relationship with your dad, bring him to the circle with you and show up. And even if your father is no longer with you or you haven't had a solid relationship with him, show up in the circle anyway and take a moment to honor some opportunities, learn some lessons, and just bring some reverence to these important relationships that for most of us are our role model or first impression of masculinity. Whether that's a good impression or not, it's our responsibility now to recognize what are the good elements of masculinity that were modeled to us. And if we want to see healthy, mature masculine in the world, to be able to find a place to be able to reference what those are, what are the things that we need to do to be able to show up fully and to heal our masculine. And then a way to be held accountable to be able to do that. And that's why the King's Circle is so important to us, because that's been so profound on my journey. And much like meditation and yoga, it's a practice. It's something that you're going to walk from week to week, and you're going to continually find more gold about yourself. The King's Circle gives you the opportunity to deep dive into yourself through a sharing circle, as well as the opportunity to up level and to connect to an expert that's going to share something around meaningful topics for men. So last week we had an expert, Leonard Lowe, who was also on the podcast talking about semen retention. And it was a really amazing opportunity for him to come in the circle and actually teach us some practical stuff live in the circle that supported us to understand the role of controlled ejaculation. It's called ejaculatory choice. And to recognize that there's some actual practices that you can do to move this energy and help you last longer in bed. That's one example. We're going to have more of those. But this week, inside the King's Circle, we're honoring all fathers. And what we're going to be sharing is a tool called Conversations to Have with Your Parents Before They Die. And this is something that I've used to support me and the relationship that I had with my mother. And I'll share exactly how I've used the process, but I'll say we had a pretty shallow relationship. We were close, but we didn't see eye to eye when we were growing up. And I think we triggered each other in specific places, and we were amiable, but I wouldn't have said that we had a deep relationship. Having gone through this process, the relationship with my mother has transformed so much. We have amazing conversations now. We've created a safe space to be able to share what's alive. We've gone through this communication framework, and it's really been such a gift to just deepen that relationship that I have with my mom. And I plan to do the same with my dad. And it's something that you can take into your relationship. So that's something we're going to be teaching inside this week's coming circle. So that's a wrap of bulletin number 1 for the week starting the 13th of March. We're really stoked to have you as part of our community. If you've been inside one of our circles, thank you for being one of the 80 men that have said yes to this work. And if you haven't been yet, show up this Thursday and bring your dad if you feel called, and help us get to that goal of 10,000 men inside a circle. However you've seen this video, reply to the email if you came in via email. If this is posted on social media, write a comment below and let us know what you'd like to see inside the circle and what you think about the work that we're putting into the world. Thank you so much again for being part of this community, and I'll see you next week.